He has to be. He has to be
not great.
fairly. I don't want to. I love him, but he has to have done some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a MAGA, freaking CIA's corrupt. When he says it, I believe him because I'm like, he's speaking from a level of experience. He may not have seen anything directly, but
right?
Like, if you're getting orders and you're dropping into Costa Rica, and freaking blowing up some like railroad lines or something. I don't know what the heck he's doing.
Yeah. Well, have you seen that?
It's corrupt then.
Christine wanted to go see a movie night. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, like, I haven't seen it. I didn't know the previews. It was that, the something of ungentlemanly warfare, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, with the handsomest guy in the world in it.
And
he's like a Warhammer dork.
He's so funny. And the like...
Oh, you have a crush on him? Look at Philly.
Who doesn't?
Philly's getting flushed.
Yeah.
What's his name? Henry Cavill?
I always want to call him Dean Cain, but that's the other Superman.
Also,
you're talking
another
Henry
good-looking
Cavill,
guy.
right?
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
He's so funny, and he's got this like little machine gun that he has a silencer on it. He's just like... And it like, he's just like, oh, that guy felt funny. That was noisy. And then he keeps like, throughout the movie, he keeps collecting like Nazi stuff. He's like, that's a cool hat. Hold on. Comes back wearing the hat as he comes out. By the end, he's got like a full-on like military. But that whole thing was like one of those like off the books. If you're caught, like.
Oh, I'm sure that stuff
And I
happens all
think
the time.
about that. You remember that guy that back when that Griner chick?
Yeah.
And they were like, they have they wouldn't give us that guy who's a journalist.
Yeah.
They think he's a spy. Probably because he was a spy. And then we've just been like, yeah, sorry, it was one of those black book things, and if you're caught, you go down as a...
Well, dude, you think we don't have people, like, on the ground in Ukraine right now? Like, fighting?
And Putin's like, yeah, we're not giving this guy back, he's a spy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't get him back.
Even though we gave... Who did we give? We gave
those,
the
like,
Merchant of
gnarly...
Death.
Yeah.
We're like, we've got to get the WNBA out profitable.
Yeah.
And Brittany Griner's...
That's
as close as we can get.
That's it. Now they've got
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah,
and they hate her.
Yeah,
skinny white chick.
Yep.
And they're just like, they hate her. They hate her. And I just think that's so funny. She's pretty good though.
Colin Coward said that like
I might watch
the
the
draft
WNBA.
or the college playoffs, whatever that's called, for women's basketball,
NCAA
was like 4 times
Yeah.
the viewership of the women's NBA
Yeah.
finals last year.
Yeah.
And it's like, jeez.
Yeah. And she was in Iowa. It doesn't even like.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like it was a big school.
Like Duke or something.
Yeah. It wasn't even like Duke. It's like Iowa. They never go. And then she goes and apparently she smoked everybody in her first game. And then I didn't really follow that close. But all the girls hate her.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a girl.
Her effect is so big. Listen to this, bro. So her effect's so big that they're like, look, we got to treat them a little bit better. These WNBA women. Mm-hmm. Let's give them all chartered flights to their games because they've been flying like coach.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So they decided to do it, and it's going to be $25 million a year to charter all the flights for them.
Okay.
Guess how much the total salary of the WNBA players is?
I'm gonna guess it's under 25.
It's $18 million.
Oh my.
So Caitlin Clark shows up. They're like, we got $25 million extra just laying around. It's like they could have all just doubled all their contracts.
Yeah.
That's so silly. I will say
the NBA's patting themselves on the back.
they're like, we're so smart
because
because it's like a write off for the real NBA.
Yeah,
they're like, we're taking this loss over here.
Yeah, that's like
balancing their books for them.
They're saying that's like it exists because of the NBA. Same with like the men's soccer.
Yeah,
and the women's soccer, like
the women's soccer is profitable, but the WNBA is literally could not exist.
Yeah, and it just happens to help that pretty much every country in the world loves soccer.
Yeah. And you only watch it every 4 years. It's like, fine, I'll watch.
I guess I'll watch the World Cup.
It was exciting when back in Harriman, I forget that guy's name. but he was like a big soccer guy.
Oh yeah.
So he would explain soccer. So then I'd like watch it with him explaining stuff. So then it was fun.
Yeah.
But now I don't remember the stuff. So.
Dude, I watched that World Cup is when I was working in finance at a specific company, and I was basically just like a paper peasant. Yeah, we'll say that, paper peasant. Just put on my iPad. I watched every World Cup game that I could.
As you're just standing.
And I think like 10 different seasons of something on Netflix. I'm just like following money, filing paperwork. I'm like, I hate my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Good time.
We've developed several ciphers.
Was murdered in Dallas, Texas. He was shot by a sniper hiding in a building near his...
Holy fuck!
A bizarre flash occurs, and the plane has vanished. Upon
The WEF is an organization.
Fly away, Houston. Vector good. Bye-bye, fly.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll get started. I have a game for you guys to play.
nice. I was
Excellent.
hoping we had
Have
a
you
game.
guys ever played Real or Fake? It's back.
Yes, I played
Another
Real or
round
Fake.
of
I
Real
played it.
or Fake.
Okay, I lost
So,
to fielding last time.
You did lose to fielding last time, and let me
I
explain.
overthought it.
Maybe.
I
Either
was
that
like,
or-
you want me to think that's fake, so I'm going to say it's real. But you would know that I would think that. So therefore...
It's like Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's explain the rules again. I'm going to give you guys, this time, instead of images,
Okay.
it's a series of news stories.
Okay.
And you have to tell me whether it's a real news story
All fake.
or it's a fake news story. I mean, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
But are we saying that someone actually delivered it as real?
Correct.
We're not going to judge whether it's real.
It's not like
Yeah,
an
and,
onion.
Okay.
these answers have come from multiple news sources.
Okay.
Okay. So I will give you guys a title, and then you guys have to, or
Okay.
a news line, and then you guys have to tell me whether or not it's real or fake.
Okay.
Okay.
This sounds like a good one.
Okay. And for everyone you get right, you get 1 point. Okay. Here we go. First one. 306 cattle stolen in wild $165,000 heist over a 12-day period, cops say. And this, I'll give you a little bit of background. This actually happened in Australia. And, yeah.
That's a lot of
A
cattle.
group of guys stole 306 cows.
I can see that being true.
I'd say true.
It's correct. It's true. Yeah. So basically, 3 men essentially over the course of 12 days.
There's just 3 guys?
3 guys stole 306 cattle off a guy's property, and they moved it basically from one of them like southern towns, and basically took the cattle and ran it all the way north to the north shore of Australia, and essentially tried to sell them, but then they got caught because it's kind of hard to hide.
Yeah,
That would
that'd
be
be
a
tough.
difficult.
306 cows.
And they're just like, we got a lot of meat now.
Yeah. It'd be one thing to like move some like stolen watches.
Even cars, there's places that
Yeah, you can chop
get
them
those.
down, but
Yeah, but
it's a lot of. That's probably what they.
And I think it would be.
aliens
I think it would be fairly easy to track as well, because 306 cows eating grass. They got to do. They got to
they're
do
kind
their
of worth
business.
like $1,000 a piece or something.
They probably have trackers on them.
Yeah, but no, the cattle itself, they were worth $165,000.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next story. Airplane forced to make U-turn due to diarrhea incident. A Delta flight turned around because of a passenger's explosive diarrhea.
Okay.
That's got to be true because I hear about stupid stuff like that.
That's,
all
I
the
think
time.
it's true. And I guess the question I would have is like, if you made it to the bathroom and then it was that bad, that's pretty bad. But if you're out in the general populace and it's
because it's got to be something with like the toxicity of waste that's now not like flushed.
Excuse me,
blue brick.
Bing, bing, bing.
Can I do my seatbelt, please?
I need those little napkins. You know, that you set your cup on.
Can I get one of those throw-up
Probably
bags?
like 3,500.
So are you saying you feel like you're saying
it's
true?
real.
Yeah.
Travis, you're saying it's real? True story.
Oh,
Apparently, the individual on board the Delta airline flight that was going from Barcelona, Spain to Atlanta, Georgia,
it's over
had
the ocean.
to use the restroom and left a messy trail to the restroom. So they had to
Moment of empathy.
turn
I
around.
was just thinking that.
I mean,
it's one thing to blow up a bathroom like at a public place that like
We've
you
all
just
done
trickle
that.
back into
but
like
there's
your
no
car.
way that person wanted any part of that.
Yeah,
Like they only woke up that morning, they're like,
they're
going
in,
to Georgia.
they're in a
Or
sardine
get some
can.
barbecue. I'm gonna fill my tummy up with barbecue. And then it'll be fine. I'm just
take some
gonna dump it out,
Pepto-Bismol.
take some Pepto-Bismol, hop on that plane, get in Georgia.
Yeah,
The worst part would be the aftermath. You just made a mess on the floor, right?
Yeah.
You made it to the bathroom. You did your deed.
And the pilot's like, please buckle up. Your seat partner's like, F.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, we got to turn the flight around," and everyone's looking at that one.
Oh my God.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh,
Please
terrible.
be a dude.
I hope so. If
Yeah.
it was a girl, that'd be awful. All right.
Well, if we all live the same life 100 million times over,
It's happened to
one
us.
point in our lives that
Yeah.
person does. That's a bummer.
I've never publicly done that. I have trusted a toot, let's say.
That's all right. That happens.
But that's never out. Not in an airplane for. Oh man.
Okay. Next one. Alien artifact discovered in ancient pyramid. Metallic orb with integral engravings.
I mean, come on.
What did they call it? What did
I'm
they
gonna
call
say
it?
that's true.
A metallic orb with intricate engravings.
I'm gonna say that's true because that's. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. But then, like, is it true? It might be false because we would have heard about it. But then you got the freaking
No, that
media.
kind of stuff like.
Yeah.
Oh, flies
I
under
think
the
it's
radar.
true.
Deal.
You think it's true?
I'll say true too. No, I'll say false. Otherwise, we're just keep saying the same thing.
Okay, so you're false.
I'm false.
You're true. It's false. Fake story. Sorry, I made that one up.
Daniel's part of the CIA now.
Nope.
Yeah.
I knew they'd get to him. He's sold out.
It's too late. Okay, I got another one for you.
I think that was actually true because it was an Egyptian Bluetooth speaker, so they could. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
One of
like
those
that.
echoes.
yeah, it was like Osiris. Play that funky jam. It's like we will. So
Oh man.
that one's disputed.
All right. Okay. This one is actually from our home state. Okay, let's see here.
Is it Dugway Proving Grounds?
No, it should be though. Okay, in Ogden.
Place is evil.
In Ogden, Utah, police officer arrests a speeding motorist to find out it was a 5-year-old child driving.
It's gotta be true. I'm gonna say true because in Utah, I mean, I remember even moving here, and everyone will just drive with their kid on their lap. Which in Oregon, it's like we actually obeyed seatbelt laws. Like it was like a part of the culture of Oregon. So when you moved here, you're like, all of these people hate their children. Now we're part of it. We do the.
Yeah.
I mean, I never broke
When
the
you have
law.
more,
Obviously,
we have more kids than
Never.
seats. What are you supposed
Yeah,
to do?
yeah. I got a Mazda RX-7 because it was dope. I got 7 kids. It's like somebody's not getting a seatbelt.
Yeah.
I remember going to church with all 5 of my siblings and my mom and dad in a 2-seater Geo Metro convertible.
Yeah, dude.
Sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
You just sit on the back. You know,
Hold on.
some of you are sitting behind the seats where there was barely
It's
enough
like you're in a
breathing
parade.
room. Yeah.
It's like you're the.
Yeah. I felt cool the entire way. I waved at everybody. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that's true too.
Okay. So you're both saying it's true?
Yeah.
100% true story. Kid was driving, looks like 45 miles an hour on
Good speed
Highway
for a
15
5-year-old.
in Ogden.
Oh, wait. Do you mean I-15?
Yeah, I-15.
How'd you get on the freeway?
Yeah, so he drove onto the freeway. He could barely reach the pedals, and he essentially had driven 3 miles across town to get onto the freeway, was driving south on I-15 near Ogden, Utah.
A 5-year-old?
And the officer pulled over the car because it was driving erratically and not using signals, changing lanes. Pulls him over only
Weird,
to find
that's
a
how everyone drives in
5-year-old
Utah.
boy
Yeah.
perched on the edge of the driver's seat with his feet barely reaching the pedals.
But but pulled him over too. I mean, all of this is so impressive. 3 miles to get to the freeway, gets on the freeway.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't use signals. That's obviously bad. But then, lights. I'll pull over.
Yeah.
Right. It's a true story.
That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Okay. Next one.
Then the next part, the cop goes over, grabs the kid, slams him on the ground. Police brutality. What'd you say to me, boy?
Whips out the taser.
Helicopter footage of just a bunch of cops stomping him out.
He's resisting.
I'm not resisting. Oh my god.
Just kidding. I love my boys in blue, but that's
a funny thing.
That is a funny visual.
Yeah. All right. Next one. So right now, I think Fielding's gotten all of them right. You're down by 1.
yeah.
The numbers will be on the screen.
Classic. That's all right.
Yeah, I can't keep track of it. Okay. Next one.
Fielding
I
has to
gotta
go
get my
first. You
serious
go
face
first
on this one.
time.
Okay.
Gotta get my serious face.
Okay, that means it's okay.
A man was swallowed by a whale off of the coast of Provincetown, Massachusetts, while diving for lobsters.
I mean, the Bible story.
I was gonna say, what year was this?
This was in June of 2021. So it's somewhat recent.
Did he live?
Yes.
Pinocchio.
I mean, who would have known? Who would have known if you got swallowed if you didn't? Would you be done?
Pinocchio.
Well, I mean, if you were like with your friend and all of a sudden he just like
Turns around and you got
gone.
swallowed by a whale.
Yeah.
I guess that's possible.
like Pinocchio.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I'm gonna say true.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a true story.
That's insane.
So Michael Packard was diving off the coast of Providence, Massachusetts, when suddenly engulfed by a humpback whale. Packard is estimated that he was in the whale's mouth for up to a minute, and then was spit out miraculously. He survived only injuries, and it got worldwide attention.
Talk about a terrifying experience,
Dude,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Wait. I mean, what else can
Yeah.
you do?
I'd crap my
Think
pants.
Is
about
you
your
like
family.
hitting it, trying to make it uncomfortable
Yeah.
so that it spits out,
Probably
or do you hold
A humpback
still?
whale does eat the little tiny things, right? Though,
Yeah, like krill and stuff.
so it's probably like, oh,
Like how
he's
we,
like,
eat,
oh.
we get like a bone in it,
Yeah.
and we're like,
Yeah, that's nothing.
yeah, you get like a bone.
Think
or
about it for a
piece
while.
of sand.
That's not
that's
going
definitely not a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a few more. Next one. Talking dog elected mayor. In bizarre election in, let's see here, in Massachusetts.
Got a lot of East Coast weirdos.
They would do something stupid like that because it's a silly position. Anyway.
This is one of those towns that's in like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
You know, or like upstate
Do you,
New York,
Yeah.
I'll give you some more details. It
Connecticut
says,
in the fall.
Yeah.
They're like, we got a talking dog as a mayor.
Yeah.
Come and see us at the bed and breakfast.
yeah. It says in a small town in Massachusetts, an election gone awire, a golden retriever named Buddy was unexpectedly elected as the new mayor.
And the dog's name was Buddy.
He probably had 7 votes.
They're like, it's Bill Clinton's brother.
A joke. It was a joke
Buddy.
candidate, but
All the dogs' enemies.
Yeah.
Just eliminated.
This
Well, there's no
dog.
one left.
How
There's no one
many
left.
dogs know 91 people who committed suicide? Not very many. Golden
Buddy does.
retrievers are really a happy breed. This isn't like a Chihuahua, okay?
I feel like I've seen stuff
You're
that's
thinking
like that.
Air Bud.
The hard part where they say like a talking dog.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, yeah, but the talking dog part, like, I'm gonna say fake.
I'm gonna say true because I've seen Air Bud. and Airbud 2 and Airbud 3.
That's an athlete.
Oh,
This is politics. It's
that's
different.
true. That's true.
So, false?
Yep.
I can't remember.
I either tie it up.
True?
I either tie it up or I go way down.
It's fake. I made it up.
The problem with that one is I'm kind of cornered. Like, I have to mismatch for filming.
All right.
I was praying it was true, though. I was hoping it was Denver. You ever see Denver, the bad dog?
No.
This guy comes home, there's this, like, treats torn up and the wrappers all over the floor. And he's got 2 dogs. And then I think the first was named, like, Millie or something. Millie, was this you? And she just looks like a regular old dog. And then he pivots the camera and he's like, Denver, did you do this? And Denver's like, his shit starts quivering and stuff. It's like, Denver, I can't believe you did it. And Denver's just like, it's just so guilty and racked with guilt.
Oh, man. Love it. Okay, I've got 2 more. Time traveler arrested for winning lottery multiple times. A man claiming to be a traveler from the future was arrested after authorities discovered he had won the lottery jackpot multiple times under suspicious circumstances.
I think that's true.
I can see that being true.
In both sense of the word.
They just
That was a real time traveler.
say it like, oh, time traveler. But I could see them arresting somebody if they've won. I'm going to say true.
You say true?
Yeah.
I made that
Oh,
Dang, I had my chance.
Oh, yeah, that was it. And there's only one more question.
That one's really
That
really close to the one where the guy got arrested for winning the stock market a bunch, and he said he was a time traveler. Remember
too.
that?
Yeah, I knew that's it's still fresh on the mind.
And then they let him out on bail and
He
disappears.
played-
disappeared.
That's so cool.
Okay, last one. You ready? We'll do this one double or nothing.
Okay.
You can,
Okay.
Travis, you can get 2 points
Okay.
and tie it up.
Okay.
Or Fielding wins by 4.
I'm just going opposite fielding blind.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Then I'll go first.
Yeah.
In Oviedo, Florida, alligator in the sewer myth is found true. Or I say, sorry, alligators, multiple alligators
I'm going to say that's
in the
true.
sewer.
Seems like Florida.
I think it's true, but I'm going to say false. I mean, it's Florida. It's alligators.
Apparently, city workers
Oh, geez.
went into the sewer system only to find a 5-foot alligator residing in the sludge. And under further investigation, they found several alligators that were traveling in the storm drains of the city.
It's a good thing the toilet pipes
Can you
like that
imagine?
big.
Can you imagine? I heard snakes can come up when it rains in like Mississippi and stuff. They come
Yeah.
up to the toilets.
That makes sense.
I just wouldn't use the restroom.
Can you imagine? I just walk in the bathroom.
No,
Coming
I
out.
can't imagine it.
That's when you have to have one of those things in the bathroom and you're like,
Lose my mind.
Yeah.
trying to get it to, you know.
My brother had a gardener snake in his room years and years ago. I'm like in the bedroom next to him, and I just hear like, obviously like
just don't- I
terrified,
just
like
don't like-
whimper, and then all this pounding like against the wall as he's like backing up, and he like comes flying in. He's like, "There's a snake in my room." And I'm like, "What?" And I go in, and it's somehow gotten in the window and then gone up. We had like these like shelves over the window. They're probably called something, but I don't know. And it was like hanging its head out, like kind of looking around. It was scary. So
That
I
would
took
be
a
scary.
baseball bat,
Just whipped
and
it.
it took me a long time to muster up enough energy
Ding! Oh
To-
my gosh.
to knock him into a bucket.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah. And then imagine sleeping there knowing that the snake was like,
Because if there's one snake, you've seen how snakes give birth. It's like
Can you
a
guys-
million of them.
Haven't you guys
Yeah.
seen snakes on a plane?
No,
I actually haven't. There's a really good song from
It's a ridiculous show.
is it?
Yeah, it's about snakes on a plane.
I thought
It's
it was
got-
like an Oscar winner or something in it.
I don't know.
she's got Samuel L. Jackson in it, so you think it's like
Yeah, you think it's going to be good, but
It's an artsy film.
yeah. But Cobra Starship did a song for that movie,
Cobra
and
Starship.
it was awesome. So
Okay.
there you go.
yeah, I even think they teamed up with the lead singer from The Sounds. Double cool.
I haven't heard
There's a
any
lot
of
of
what you're
artists
saying.
from like
Yeah,
the
they-
early 2000s.
Yeah, that's like our high school days.
Yeah.
Junior
The
high school.
sounds.
Yeah.
I can't believe that
Electric
name.
keyboard.
It's kind of weird that name for a band wasn't already taken years before.
Yeah.
It's like, It's like when you find a website that like, I can't believe this is available.
Yeah.
The sounds. That's what we make. We make sounds.
I was on my mission back when like LimeWire was big, and like I met all these kids just like dirt jumping our bikes, and I was like, "Hey man, we download this music," and I gave it to him, and he kept begging, and he's like, "Dude, the sounds isn't pulling up anything. It's just like nature sounds," and I'm just like, whatever. Trying to explain to like a 15-year-old how to pirate music. So
That's hilarious.
I was like, "Thanks for trying." Though,
Yeah.
Well, the story is 100% true.
Okay. I knew it.
It's okay, Travis. You'll get fielding eventually.
So I lost by 4 that time.
Lost by 4. That's okay.
That's how they get you.
We're going to have more. I've got another one coming up. I've been doing some, I had to do some harder research on this one. So I hope you guys are ready.
Okay.
It's going to be good. But another round of, is it real or is it fake? Okay.
Don't trust me.
Don't trust Travis.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Travis's
it's okay.
pineal gland is not opened up yet, so he doesn't understand.
I still think we landed on the moon.
He still
So-
thinks the Earth is
Yeah,
round.
I think the Earth is round.
What a silly guy.
So,
Yeah. What a dummy.
just proving how silly I am.
Grandpa Travis.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you guys seen the movie, not movie, sorry. Have you seen the TV series, Stranger Things?
Yes.
I have.
I think everybody has, right?
Yeah.
Premise of the show? What do you
Real.
want to tell me one of the premises? You guys break it down for me.
Well, first of all, they're having a great time. It's the 80s.
Okay, you're going really in,
Yeah.
really in detail.
I mean, it's a cool small town. They got
I don't know if we have enough
BMX bikes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all sorts of craziness happens because at this facility that is located near their town, some of the people from the town are probably employed there. I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, could be.
And they're doing weird experiments. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like with psychedelics.
Yeah. Yep. Psychedelics. They're also doing like chimera type stuff, maybe some DNA stuff, time travel stuff.
Deprivation
It's
tanks.
all based on a real place. But yeah, then this girl escapes.
11.
11. She's called that because that's the number of prisoners she was or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but she's really nice apparently, so the boys just don't tell their parents. Like they find a girl. That's a little bit okay. But then very 80s style, they're hiding there for the parents, hijinks ensue. They're getting chased by the government.
Yeah.
Reminds me of E.T. a little bit. When
Yeah,
the
it's got that
government
vibe.
came and
Super cool.
on the BMX bikes. It was super cool, especially season 1.
Yeah.
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 The bad guy in season 1 is so cool.
He really is. What's his name?
Okay, I can't.
He's from the 80s though. That's the beautiful part is he made his name in the 80s.
Yeah.
So solid TV show.
Well, I got another question for you. Have you guys heard of the Montauk Project?
Yes.
You have? Have you heard of it? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to dive into the Montauk
It's near
Project
where my
today,
son is currently on his mission.
which is pretty cool.
That crossed my mind.
Yeah. Tell him not to...
Not to go out there.
Don't
Not
go
to
by
go-
the water and pick up any
So don't
chimera.
go swimming out
They're
there.
floating around.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a bit of stuff on the Montauk Project.
Okay,
not
let's do
all of it though. So if there's anything I'm leaving out, you guys
All
have
right,
to
bro.
All right, let's dig in.
do that for me. But before we get to that point though, gotta.
Oh, nice.
I just don't want to get.
Why do you have
sniped.
why do you have a light on it?
I was gonna say, explain all the things. Yikes!
No,
Sorry,
that's
just
a cool.
went
That's a
Feelings
cool
face.
light. What about the one on the back of the head?
So the back of the one, and I'm waiting on some more stuff. I just recently got this one. That's why we're going to talk about it. But this is an actual LED identifier.
Nice.
So that way, if I'm running around with my buddies out
Had
in
an
the
actual
dark,
shoot you in the back of the head.
doing some LARPing, I don't get shot.
Okay.
But it also does like IR and stuff like that. But
Some LARPing.
Yeah.
but
Can you imagine? You'd be invincible with that thing on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a special sponsor today.
Cool. Who is it?
Hardhead Veterans. Hardhead
like
Veterans makes ballistic helmets like this one right here. This is the ATE Gen 2, made by Hardhead Veterans. It's a level 3 ballistic helmet.
Does that mean it can take a bullet?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably
It
three
could-
of them.
It could take this one, a 9mm,
9mm.
straight to the head, no problem. It could even take this one.
What is that? A 44?
That's a 45 Colt.
45.
It can actually go all the way up to 44 mag, which for people that don't know guns, that's a big bullet. and you can take it right to the noggin. Keep on ticking.
I bet you wouldn't feel good still.
No,
That's
I
my
imagine
bad.
it's
You
probably
might feel it the next day.
yeah. I imagine it's gotta hurt, but I mean, you won't have an empty noggin. Yeah, and actually,
You won't wake up on the other side.
it's rated for those, but there's actually been documented cases of it stopping stuff like this: AK-47 rounds, 5.56 rounds, you name it. It does everything. So you can hook up nods on this, some night vision. You can put on your earmuffs or your ear pro, which is what I'm going to be doing with this one specifically. And it comes in cool colors. This one's their multicam. It comes in tan, green, black, you name it.
What is the
Could you
red
get it
light
in your
do?
like high school colors?
I don't know
Purple.
about that. You could probably contact them. They're cool guys. And you could probably, I don't know, maybe get a custom order.
I love it.
Ask for some, I don't know, some of those gummy nerds too in your package.
It beats what I've been doing.
I was a little disappointed. I got mine and I opened it up and there was no candy. There was a cool morale patch, so I guess I can't be too mad about it. But the red light, if you're in the middle of the night and you need to read something, you don't want to whip out a bright flashlight. You've got your little red light, so you can see what you're doing.
So you can't see a red light from very far away.
Correct. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool little
Makes sense.
cool little gadget. The other cool thing, the reason why I love Hardhead Veterans, two reasons. One, it's a veteran-owned company. These are men that actually served in Iraq and in Afghanistan, and they decided to start their own company building helmets that are made in the United States.
Cool.
And for the price, you're getting military grade. In fact, I think it's actually better than the military grade helmets for a lot less, which is cool. And the other cool thing that I love about it is they actually line it with tinfoil in between the ballistic.
They know.
In between the
Sold.
ballistic Kevlar, so you can't actually have your mind controlled.
The government, yeah.
So like
can't-
when Kamala Harris laughs, it blocks that noise.
right.
I don't even know what it sounds like anymore. I
Yeah.
see her come on the TV and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
put my helmet on. Yeah, it's pretty sick. You know,
Like,
aliens,
Is that a donkey
government.
brain? Nope.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it is.
yeah. So thank you, Hardhead Veterans, for sponsoring our video today, even though they don't know that they're sponsoring our video today. Awesome helmet. Fantastic.
We just want to.
Love it.
What do they call
Thank
that?
you, thank you, thank you.
Waterboy talked about it. Visualize and attack.
Visualize and attack.
You're drinking the wrong water.
All right, let's jump into the Montauk Project a little bit. Okay, so the Montauk Project comes from, the name itself comes from the Montauk Air Force Base. Do you guys remember where the Montauk Air Force Base is?
It's like New Jersey or on island off of New
I was gonna say
Jersey
it's
or
somewhere in like
Long
New
Island.
Jersey, that area.
Correct. So it's actually, oh my gosh, so I got my notes up here, but I actually have two places where my notes are. So I got to jump in between here really
bragging.
quick.
It's like I can store notes in multiple places.
In multiple.
I'm so wealthy.
Let's see here. So it's actually,
Maybe you've
let's
heard
see
of it.
here.
A little company called Apple.
Called Apple. Montauk Air Force Base is on Long Island, New York.
Yeah, dude. I did.
Okay, Long Island, New York. Okay. Now,
The nicest part of New York is what I've heard.
there's
Long
so
Island.
there's so much to unpack with the Montauk Project.
True.
It covers everything from time travel to mind control to LSD to kidnapping kids, like all kinds of stuff.
That's why they kept the name like the project.
Yeah, because it's like
yeah.
it's multiple things.
Yeah.
They're working on a lot of different stuff. So we're going to touch base on, I think, the cooler and more interesting points. But anyways, so Montauk Project started in the early or mid 1960s. And I'm not going to touch base on the time travel of the what was
From
it?
the ship.
From the ship.
Yeah, no. That's
That's wild.
yeah, it's a
radical.
yeah, it's. I'll briefly talk about it. Basically, a World War II battleship, 1943 battleship, basically went invisible.
They powered it up to be invisible.
Yep. Instead, it like
Because they
traveled
figured
through-
out with like frequency they could tune things and
Yeah.
it would like ripple basically, and then it could like.
Which is apparently, I didn't realize this. Apparently, it's related to the theory of relativity. Like that's
so
where
they
that comes from.
cranked it like way up,
Yeah.
ran the test, and apparently like soldiers were showing up miles away, just morphed in with like rocks.
Same thing with the
Horrific
ship.
ways
There's
to
people
die.
like stuck in bulkheads and walls, dying, and anyways, that was
And then those
it's crazy.
two brothers jumped off, and one of them ended up at Montauk, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Sick.
Which the two missing soldiers ended up running the Montauk Project. So Preston Nichols, who later ended up writing books about the Montauk Project, was one of those individuals, and he actually didn't have any recollection of running the project until
That's right.
later in his life.
That's the kookiest. After he went there after it was like decommissioned, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And when he went there, it was like he was morphing past and present while he was there.
right.
Like he'd be in there and it's like an old decommissioned place, and then all of a sudden it's back 20 years before, and he's like, that's my name on the door.
Right. And he didn't understand and realize that he had been the one running the project, because one of the main things they did in the project was teaching mind control. And it's very similar to like remote viewing, where you can, using through like, brain power essentially, and like telekinesis and, meditation, whatever, remote viewing, they could essentially see things, throughout the world. And there was a huge push by like the CIA back then to develop that skill set, and there was a bunch of projects, but we're not going to dive into that. But this one was more specific to...
We're skipping over pretty good stuff.
We
Which is fine.
can dig
We can
into
go
it
next
later.
week.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but there was an individual that was one of the most capable mind control individuals, and he also did remote viewing, was Duncan Cameron. So Duncan Cameron was one of the subjects of the Montauk Project, okay? And he had the ability to do mind control. He had mind control abilities, and he even had the ability to use what's called the seeing eye, which the seeing eye was a form of mind control where he could actually connect to another consciousness of another human being and be able to see through their eyes and see what that person was seeing, feel what that person was feeling, be able to hear as if he was just like living inside their body. Now, the way that he was able to do this was by using the Montauk chair. Now, the Montauk chair was basically a chair that they used, and it was connected to all this equipment, computers. There was
who is that? Professor
Xavier.
X?
Yeah, like Professor X would go in, the X-Men, and he would put on the hat, and he
telling you, man, the movies always tell us.
Well, the cool part that I remember from this is that they would put him in that chair. Do you remember where they got the chair from?
I don't know if I know.
So they got it from a crashed spaceship, and it was this chair that would connect them with the spaceship. So then they said, well, let's put it here, take these guys that already can kind of like remote view and they have some talent, and let's try to hook it up, figure out what's going on with them. And when they did that, it like magnified their ability to like go remote view and all stuff.
That's crazy. I didn't know that part.
And
that's cool.
One of the remote views that theoretically there's no proof of it, is he remote viewed Mars. I think his name is Ingo Swann. But this is a true stat, though. So he would do all his remote viewing, they would track, and then they'd verify. And about 20% of the time, he would be right. Which, if you think about it, is a very high percentage.
That's nuts.
Because it isn't like he's like, is it black or white? No, it wasn't like that. It was like he would describe bases and things like that.
Reports in people's office that were like classified.
Yes.
He'd go into their office, he would open up filing cabinets, and he would like view classified documents, and then
he'd bail.
Tell them.
So I mean, that's 1 out of 5 is pretty good.
Yeah.
So crazy. So basically, this chair would give them electrical stimulation and levels and frequencies and all kinds of different things. But then, the pinnacle was the seeing eye ability and being able to... dude, just grab me anything. I don't care. Any one of those. I told him to get me a drink. 'Cause I'm thirsty, dude. Gracias, bro. Thank you.
Spark.
Yeah. Not a sponsor, but it's good. But anyways, and it was connected to an actual like array that was above ground on the actual base. And that array would connect into like all the different frequencies and allow them to project their consciousness out to whatever individual that they were trying to, you know, use the seeing eye through. And obviously it had tons of implications, right? The ability to spy on individuals without knowing they were being spied on, like all that kind of stuff. So pretty crazy. But anyways, Duncan Cameron actually has a lot to do with like some of the successes and some of the things that took place in the Montauk Project. But it also allowed them to download ideas and commands and even programs into the minds of their subjects. So this is where it gets pretty interesting, and this is where Preston Nichols actually became a victim of his own project. But what they would do is they would have the ability to be able to download information into people's minds, right? Which, just like the movie Inception, right? Where they would basically go into their dream and they would, you know, place these seeds and get them to think and believe certain things that were happening may not be actually happening. But this basically was a little bit more effective than that. They could basically go into their mind, download information, and even programs. And what they mean by programs is, so for instance, like I could, if I was, you know, Duncan Cameron, I could go into Fielding's mind and basically be like, okay, Fielding, I'm going to have you assassinate this political person, and you're going to do it in this way, and you're going to basically not remember that you've been programmed unless you hear the word pink puppy. And then Fielding would just be a normal dude running around doing his own thing. And then when he heard his trigger word, he would then be activated. And he would then carry out that strike, carry out that sabotage. I mean, they did tests on assassination, sabotage, and even suicide.
Well, dude,
Is that the main?
here's the thing where it gets a little
Manchurian
weird.
candidate, yeah.
Here's where it gets a little weird, where like there could be like ops being ran, like maybe this isn't true, specifically this person, but it's like that's what proves that this stuff actually happens, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because for sure they did this stuff. I believe that John Lennon was killed by somebody like that guy that killed John Lennon.
Yeah.
He was in love with what's her face, the actress Jodie Foster. He had that book. I mean, he was apparently a pretty normal guy after he fulfilled his mission.
Yeah.
Yep.
The interesting thing, I'm going to dive into that a little bit when we get to the Montauk.
RFK with Sirhan.
Yeah, yeah.
He just all of a sudden comes out of nowhere and just caps a dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be a good piece of this. But I'm going to get to it here in a second, because then we're going to get into the Montauk Boys and what that project was all about. But anyways, this is where it gets a little bit crazy. They even, according to Preston Nichols, who ran the project, he states that they even got to the point where they could even create solid objects and make them appear. So essentially they could be like, you know, they would essentially be hooked up to this machine, and they would think of an object. They would make it then appear on a computer screen that was then connected to the chair. And then they would then concentrate and they had such an ability to like tap into frequencies and power that they would then make a physical object appear. And they did things like baseballs, bats, like food, all kinds of stuff. And they would basically make it appear as if it was like Star Trek replicator type stuff. Okay?
That's wild.
Which is nuts. Okay? And
Just
then
hacking into the program of our world,
right.
And then tweaking it.
Yeah. And then they even got to the point, or they were working towards, after they were able to make solid objects appear, they then were like, okay, we want to be able to create a vortex that would allow us to time travel, whether it be to the past, the future, or into alternate realities. Okay? And they hired a guy.
Like, I want to go where I'm cool.
Yeah.
I want to meet that person.
They just keep checking
Yeah.
different realities.
Just back.
It's not a movie.
Nope, not this one.
Fail.
No, dang it. That dude's homeless. Okay. But they hired a guy, Dr. Van Neumann. Now, Dr. Van Neumann...
Dude, that's straight out of Futurama. Yeah, Neumann?
Yeah.
Neumann.
Yeah.
Neumann. And it's not an accent. That's how it's pronounced, Neumann. But anyways, he worked on the Manhattan Project. Okay. And he was actually a world-renowned mathematician at the time. Okay. And they utilized him in some of the formulas and different things that they created in order to create the atom bomb. Okay. But after the Manhattan Project, he died. Okay, tragic accident, died. But government documentation actually says that he was placed into witness protection. And he was protected because of his abilities.
Yeah.
And
Epstein.
yeah, thought he was being targeted. Okay.
Did he?
So then, his death was faked in 1958, and then he was placed under witness protection, where he was able to work on the Montauk Project. And so he actually worked with the Montauk Project, providing math and science and some of the things that they needed in order to understand what it would take to create the vortex. Okay? And this is where it gets freaking weird.
Okay. So
Okay.
far normal.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
weird.
Well, like my threshold,
Yeah.
right? We're like normal. Yeah, like
Creating
that.
baseballs out
And
of
now
thin
we're
air.
getting to the part where I'm like,
And then all of a sudden Rudiger from the movie Rudy shows up and they fight some sort of monster from the underworld. What was it called? The Upside Down?
yeah. And then, yeah.
That
And
might be,
then,
that's actually Stranger Things.
yeah. No, sorry. I thought, yeah.
His
Yeah.
name's Will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't Rudy anymore from the movie Rudy?
It was Will.
It was Will. Oh, okay.
Remember his
Samwise?
His mom.
Was it Samwise?
Yeah, it was Sam.
That was
Samwise.
the, well, in
That was the boyfriend.
That's the stepdad.
Yeah.
Or boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
They-
guy.
they
No,
married-
no, it's not Will. I was talking about Rudy.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah. So get this. So Duncan Cameron, in his attempt to create a vortex, okay, ends up opening up a vortex. Okay? And then something goes wrong. Okay? And in that process of creating that vortex,
Freaking Chimera washes up.
he creates, or through his, whether it came through the vortex or he created it in his mind and it materialized, a 10-foot tall, hairy, ferocious monster.
Bigfoot.
Could be. Okay?
It's like the Harry Potter, like the Bogart.
So it
whatever,
is
where it's
like Stranger
your,
Things.
Your fear.
It is, no, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I would do if I could
Stranger
do a
Things is
vortex?
like a true story.
If I could do
all
a
the
vortex,
movies are always telling you what.
hear me out, dude.
Real deal.
You build your own project. The Connect the Dots project. Build a vortex right here in front of me. Put one right behind my back, and then I go through. Scratch my own back.
Dude, that's
Would
actually a
that
great
be-
idea.
Would that feel nice though?
Well, you're
It's
right.
like when somebody else scratches your back, it feels better. When you do, it's like
What about, okay, you put it right where it's that one place you can't reach, and you have an itch.
And you have one of those wands with the hand. So you can't feel yourself scratching
There we
it,
go,
and it feels
okay.
good.
seems
Yeah.
like a very
Oh,
like
it does feel good.
very pinpoint
Yeah.
need for this thing. But
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's a little specific,
Yeah.
but imagine.
Imagine,
Dude,
yeah.
that's funny that me, it would be, I'd create a vortex right here, and I'd be sitting on the couch, like watching a football game.
And I
or
just reach right
watching
through
a
into
movie.
McDonald's.
Yeah. And I go in and I'm on
Right,
at the McDonald's kiosk. And then
See,
pay.
you think too small, bro. You're paying for it. You go
Yeah.
right into
I'm
the
reaching
fry hopper.
straight in, into the oil.
Okay, that's the point.
Okay.
I'm just an honest person.
Yeah.
You guys just sit
That
there.
shows Dan's integrity.
Yeah, not me. I was reaching
Yeah.
I've never stolen anything in my life.
freshly salted hot fries. And
Okay.
I put them in an air fryer.
Vortex created.
Creates this
Monster
vortex. So this monster comes out of this vortex.
could be from his imagination that he
could have
makes
materialized it.
because that's what
Right.
they're doing with bats and other various things.
Yeah,
Okay.
like with bombs on them and stuff.
Bombs on them.
Yeah.
Not a baseball bat, but a literal bat.
Oh,
with
like
bombs.
bats with the
Yeah,
fire
bats with
bombs.
bombs.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
I was thinking like
That was just like a throwback
Yeah,
to the
throwback.
previous episode. Sorry.
Yeah,
the
that
bat
was-
bombs.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and if you didn't get that joke,
You gotta watch other
disappointed.
episodes. Yeah.
I'm disappointed in
True
you.
fan.
Take better notes.
Yeah, take better notes, guys. Come on. Where's your pen and paper? All right. So anyway, so this monster comes and it starts terrorizing the base, the Montauk Air Base. It's going around killing people.
Because they're just a bunch of scientists. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, who cares, man?
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, they're in New York too, so none of them have guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wish we had some guns
We
right
don't even
now.
have straws.
They're like, hey, yeah, I got these paper straws. That's about it.
They're like,
Yeah.
they're not holding up.
And they're just like they just pick up their
The blood
homeless.
is making them soggy.
Yeah. And they just pick up a couple homeless people because got lots of those, and they're just like throwing them at them, trying to feed them. Anyways, so it goes around like terrorizes the base. It's killing people. It's destroying stuff, and basically Duncan has to get out of the chair. he runs to like the array. Well, before that, I'm skipping ahead. They shut down the power to the whole base.
Okay.
Thinking, okay, it's got to be coming from the vortex being powered through the machine, through him. Shut down the power, vortex goes away.
Yeah.
He goes away.
Right.
Is their theory. Shut the power off, nothing happens. And then they're like, oh my gosh, we got to shut down
Including
the array.
the power?
The power. They shut everything off. Somehow the vortex is still open.
Okay.
So then they're thinking,
They're like, great, now it's dark.
yeah.
I was not even scared before, but now I'm really scared.
Now I'm terrified. So then they're like, okay, it's the array. The array somehow from the vortex is getting power in some way through frequency, through 0-point energy somehow. And so like, we got to destroy the array. So he shows up and he's got one of those like, those cans, like little torch things, and you're like, you know what I'm talking about?
A butane torch.
Yes, butane torch. He takes that to the array, like the array wires. He's cutting wires. He's catching stuff on fire. He's burning it. And then finally he just starts smashing stuff, and eventually the array shuts off.
Seems like you just unplug it, but...
Yeah.
I've never been in this situation, so I'm not going to
That's
judge.
true. That's true. I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
this is probably an expensive thing that you're just...
We might have to.
Shiz out of
We live by Dugway, so this could be our future.
That's right.
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT on how to turn off a mind control array.
Yeah. Hire me. I will not melt the wires.
And the weird thing was,
properly.
ChatGPT
I'm too
recommended
OCD to do that.
Like,
I have the
that. I mean, I wanted to destroy it. The monster is killing everyone. But can we just do it in an organized way?
There's parts where it clamps together. Let's just take it apart there.
We can just cut the zip ties and then pull the wires
I just
out.
want to see me and Daniel like burning stuff and filling in the back.
Guys, I don't think you know how expensive that was.
Yeah, a lot of guys worked really hard to build this.
You're kind of being disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like we gotta respect their work.
Because people are getting eaten behind building. He's like, well,
All right.
Anyways, so then they shut off the array. The array's shut off. Vortex closes. Monster disappears, supposedly.
Interesting.
Which is weird, because in my mind, I'm like, wouldn't he have to go through the vortex to like go back to whatever land he was in?
Is an energy projection, which maybe everything is?
I don't know. Anyways, so then no more people are killed by this monster.
Okay.
The monster disappears. They never see it again. And there's all kinds of weird stuff that happens at that base that's along those lines.
This was the same year Patrick Ewing was drafted into the NBA. So 7'3".
Interesting coincidence.
Interesting connection. Have seen him shave a lot, even in halftime. Anyways, so they do all kinds of stuff. And that's like kind of like the pinnacle of like disasters, I guess you could say. There is obviously talk of the connection to the Chimera, which if you haven't like seen that,
the Chimera thing is insane.
It's
bro.
That's weird. I didn't.
Chimera thing's weird because I think that's what was going on with the Egyptians too.
Yeah.
And it precedes like our civilization getting crushed.
Yeah, which is crazy. But anyways, so the whole purpose of this project, and this is where we get into like the Montauk boys. So the original purpose of the project was they wanted to create a platoon or a group of super soldiers, essentially, that they could basically take kids, boys, between the ages of 10 and 15, and essentially groom them to be controlled through the mind, right? And then they could basically train them, teach them all these different skills, and then program them, and then send them on their way. And then as they were out in society with certain trigger words and certain things, music, whatever the trigger was, they could then have a normal everyday dude working a normal job with a family, kids, whatever, and all of a sudden they could hit a trigger and they would do whatever that it was that they wanted. Okay? And so in the area of New Jersey, New York, they were essentially taking orphans and like runaways between the ages of 10 and 15, and what they would do is they would bring them in and they would like torture them. They would starve them, they would torture them, they would like give them crazy tasks. They would deprive them of sleep. They would even like give them LSD, to the point where they would break down their mind and make their mind weak enough that they could easily be programmed. And they did that.
Which is
with
crazy that like, they really did tests like that. Because that's not the Montauk thing, but that's proven that like they did LSD tests on people. Yeah. And they would put them in tanks.
Unwittingly, too, to like regular people.
Yeah, just to watch the like, that's that, I can't think of the movie, but where it's like in the border of California and Nevada. And like, that's where like Marilyn Monroe's phone was tapped in that hotel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they would give people like LSD through that. They were like getting prostitutes, but the prostitutes worked for the government basically. And then they would give them LSD, and then they would watch them. Like,
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
I just love that I used to think the government was so good. It's so nice. Crazy to me. Because it's really not. It's only as good as the people that are there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then there's lots of kids that died from the abuse and the torture that they received. Not all of them survived, and so it's believed that they're reported missing, as of missing kids. But there is a theory, and according to Preston Nichols, that they were buried on the base. All these kids that died, and they went through hundreds of kids.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this is where like it gets into an interesting like part of the conspiracy. Is you have like the Oklahoma City bombing, right? You have assassination attempts. You have mass shootings, right? And like, for instance, like the Vegas shooting. And it's funny because when they go back and like interview all these kids and interview like parents and people that knew them, a lot of them were like just normal everyday people. And all of a sudden one day they just snapped and went on these crazy shootings or blown up buildings and all that kind of stuff. So the theory is that they utilized this, successful project with these what were kids that are now 30, 40, 50, year old men, and who's to say they're not still doing it, just maybe somewhere else.
They probably also figured it out.
Also, if this existed, it still exists.
Yeah.
You don't get rid of stuff like this.
Well, I always used to think like, okay, if placebos work, like...
They're more effective than medicine in a lot of times.
So, obviously the mind is like a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
If you just took a bunch of kids who had never been in the real world and you told them that people can move things with their mind, and you rig some sort of magic show thing so that they see that, like, could that then unlock
just because they
their
believe it
abilities
so much?
Because they believe that that's what you can do, and so then they do that.
Yeah. So the theory,
like I've always thought, I'm like, that would be an interesting like thing
experiment
to try.
We should go trap a bunch of kids and do experiments.
Get some resources. I'll do a GoFundMe.
And this is how it starts.
Yeah. GoFundMe. Yeah. I'd like to take some orphan children.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the theory...
Some guys in suits come to me tonight.
Yeah, they're like, that was a pretty good idea.
Pretty good idea.
When we haven't even released that episode yet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm like, will the wires be unpluggable?
Can I just have a
need
clean
to keep things
switch?
Organized.
Yeah. But yeah, the theory is that these individuals, this program created as programmable citizens and individuals that have been trained. They don't know it, they don't remember it, and at the drop of a dime, it could be they're watching news one night and they hear their trigger word because the government controls the media, and next thing you know, they decide to go shoot up a shopping mall, and then that provides the government the ammo they need to ban guns or whatever it is.
Well, there was that story of like the mother that reported some guy, and it was like he was in the CIA or the FBI or something like that he was like trying to recruit their son into like something and get him to like do a shooting. And the mother was like, he's troubled, and they're like trying to take advantage. And it's like, who's to say that wasn't like one of the failed attempts
Right.
And the trigger things didn't work, and he remembered enough of it, and then told his parents, and then they
Right.
went after him.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a thought.
Yeah. Anyways, I highly recommend anyone that's
look
watching.
up the Montauk Project.
Dive into it. Jump in. There's some awesome
Have you seen
episodes
the
on
monster
YouTube.
that washed up?
Yeah.
We should find that image and show that one.
Yeah,
up.
I'll pop it up
'Cause
on the
that's
screen.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like they were
Doing
blending
genetic modifications
animals with
and-
humans.
And you know they are. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like, come
Yeah.
on. And then it was
But why
like, oh,
wouldn't
China's
you-
probably doing this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you try?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a scientist and you
Yeah.
just really don't believe in God, you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm just here to like be smart, and this is
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm here for a good time, not here for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make something with gills.
That picture's crazy. Yeah, we'll pop it up on the screen, but yeah, it just Montauk Project. There's so many different like stories like that, which over time we'll get into all of them, but there's so many different government projects, agencies, black book projects that is quote unquote a conspiracy.
Well, wasn't
we
Lyme
know
disease from there? And
Dude,
that
don't
came
even
out-
get me started on Lyme disease. I
that
just
it-
listened to a huge podcast
And
about
it
it.
came out that was true. That
There's
they
a
were-
lady on
they were
Tucker
testing,
talking about it.
Yeah,
Did
they
you
were
listen to that?
loading
I haven't,
ticks,
but I remember seeing it.
and something happened where maybe it was that event where the freaking Chimera was tearing everybody apart. The ticks got out and the wind was blowing, and so
No,
they got
they
mainland.
didn't get out, bro.
They let them out.
They put them out, and this is a record. They put them in a place. They wanted to measure how long it would take for them to move. So they made them radioactive, so that then they could come back and use Geiger counters to track these
track
ticks.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, wait a minute, what? And then it's
Well, they're not
Lyme
doing that
disease,
anymore.
Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and something else. And they're the most explosive, fastest growing diseases out there right now.
Yeah, but go get the jab.
Yeah, go get that.
Go get the hug.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
super safe and effective.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Trust me,
science, nothing
guys,
about it.
trust me, it's not as dangerous as the Lyme-infested ticks that I released into the wild.
Yeah.
It's way safer
That
than
was
that.
like 15, 20 years ago. We're different.
Everyone's still alive too. It's totally fine. But yeah, no, this and like so many other stories is like, there is no doubt in my mind that these stories are true, because you look at the things that our government is involved in, and I think governments just around the world, when you give people too much power without any oversight, and you give them unlimited amounts of money, yeah there's
Like, what
rampant
is?
evil.
And the weird part is, I get into what's true. Like, is it true that monster showed up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it true that they funded a project to try to create a monster out of a vortex? Yeah, I think that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if they were successful, but
Yeah.
they have people who are wanting to do that. I mean, you go back to the CERN thing with those freaking goat-headed people marching and stuff.
Yeah, what
And
is
You're
that?
just like, yeah, they're trying it. And like you always said, who was it that said this? It doesn't matter if we believe it.
Right. They believe it.
They believe it. And they believe it's true. And so they will abduct children and abuse them. They will sacrifice people.
Well, it's like the Statue of Liberty matches the Lucifer statue. And it's like,
That bothers me because I love the Statue of Liberty.
yeah, that's a light bearer that we're worshiping. But it's like that's what they like. That's what they
insanity,
believe.
bro.
What they believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it matches like we can get into that later, but
Yeah.
Well, good episode.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Montauk's interesting. Stranger Things is a great show to watch, but when you watch it, this is all stuff that reflects a version of reality. Now, some of the like I said, is there an upside down? Is there a monster? I don't know.
Yeah.
But are there scientists that are willing to break our freedoms and hurt people to like do experiments and try to get power?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, he already left.
No.
That was weird. I didn't know he left. Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for watching Connect the Dots. Appreciate everybody. Do what you need to do. All the stuff that everyone says on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all of the social medias. We're there on all of them. Get some cool merch, right? Get some mugs, t-shirts, There's bags now. We've got all kinds of stuff. So Matabel Clothing, the link is going to be in the description. Make sure you go there and buy some merch. We just had a sale recently, but I know that sales are going to be coming in the future too. So keep an eye on it, or just splurge on yourself. It's okay.
Memorial Day is coming up.
Memorial Day. Buy a shirt for Memorial Day. We actually got some awesome designs, and the designs themselves are made by us, customized by us, and put together by Matt
and Daniel
Clothing.
worked really hard on those designs, and we're both really proud of them.
I do my best. Do my best work. So if you hate them, now you know who to,
we'll
who to
share the
grill in the
blame.
comments. So, and as always, don't forget, you're a champion. We love you guys. Thanks for following us. Hit us up on Rumble or YouTube, preferably Rumble. YouTube's starting to shadow ban our stuff. So hit us up on Rumble. And make sure you like and subscribe there if you're also on YouTube. Hit us up on both. That will help us a ton.
Are we champions?
We are 100% champions.
Are they champions?
They're absolutely champions.
I love it.
Absolutely champions. So don't forget it. You're a champion. We love you. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Don't